Quick content warning for this episode. It contains recreational drug use and terrible, terrible accents. While we have done everything to keep the language clean, this episode is still not suitable for young children. Parental judgment is recommended.
It's always on these... I mean, I'm looking at a set of great beards, but it makes me think, like... I need a bit of a shaping.
Mine needs a tidy up.
Hello and welcome to the D20 Future Show, the only show where Adam has beard envy during the introduction.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to the D20 Future Show. I am, as always, although I haven't been for a while, your host and your Statham Master, Richard. Welcome to another in our occasional series of This Podcast Still Exists episodes. While podcasts have been a bit thin on the ground, the D20 Future Show Live, our Twitch livestream show, continues every other Tuesday at 18:30 BST. This is our first RPG actual play podcast in a long while, and I can only blame my stupid real life for this. However, I am delighted to be finally able to share with you our Christmas 2024 recording of Jason Statham's Big Vacation. As always, this is recorded with the stars of the Dragonmeet Podcast Zone, bringing you some of the most available talent from the UK's best TTRPG podcasts, and of course Adam. This year we have folks from Anything Could Happen, Modified Roll, and Penance RPG. By this year, of course, I mean 2024. Don't think about it too hard. It's fine. Jason Statham's Big Vacation is the world's best TTRPG, written by Grant Howitt and Chris Taylor and published by Rowan Rook and Decard. They also do more substantial RPGs that you can check out at their website, rowanrookanddecard.com. However, for now, please enjoy this episode of the D20 Future Show podcast. I am, as always, your host and your Statham Master, Richard. And today I have three wonderful people and Adam to come and join... That's not fair. 4 wonderful people to come and play Jason Statham's Big Vacation. This is a bit of a Dragonmeet tradition that each year, to celebrate the Dragonmeet Podcast Zone, we get together and we play Jason Statham's Big Vacation, the best tabletop role-playing game ever written. Normally we play at Dragonmeet. We didn't quite make it happen this year, so I have gathered these wonderful people on a stream, also, at least in theory, on a podcast, to play the game. We're going to introduce ourselves, I think, and if we can start with Nikolai. Do you want to introduce yourself and your show?
Alright, I am Nikolai. I'm the usual DM and chaos creator for Penance RPG. And tonight I'm playing Jackie, who is a tour guide.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Next we have Oscar.
Hi, I'm Oscar. I do a show called Anything Could Happen, which is a dilemma-based, very short, 20-minute kind of situation. I'm going to be playing the lawyer. My name's Lance.
Excellent. I'm going to need to write those down. And Jordan.
Bonjour. I'm Jordan, DM of Modified Roll Podcast. I'm also a professional DM in my personal time, and I occasionally, much like Richard here, write things for the DMs Guild. Although, unlike Richard, mine is much more spread out, as in I haven't published one in about a year and a half. So there we go.
I thought you were going to say successful then. I thought,
no, I got
100% true.
I got very lucky. I managed to submit things to some very popular ones, my personal ones. I've had one do well and the rest languish in obscurity. But I will be playing Spunky Brewster, the agent, and totally not a failed actor.
Amazing. And last, but by no means finally, it's Adam.
As you can see, everyone else is extremely prepared for this. You can see me doing my preparation as you're watching me introduce myself. This is how prepared I am.
It's good to get a window into your process, Adam.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
And what show are you from?
I'm just from... I'm not really from anywhere, I'm afraid. I'm from this small podcast, the D20 Future Show. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Never heard of it. Sounds terrible.
And that pen doesn't work either! I'm just waiting for Google to randomly generate a name for me. 1 second.
Dignity, always dignity.
What does that word mean?
Couldn't even spell it.
I'm playing Gabriel.
Gabriel. Excellent.
Not a bad name for a bodyguard, actually. I'll take that. That's all right.
And he's the bodyguard. and I'm your host and your Statham Master Richard. And today we are going to play Jason Statham's Big Vacation. Okay, we have our players. Let's have our game. Jason is going to be on holiday. He is on holiday. He will go through 4 scenes. On each of these scenes, they will start with him waking up, kicking down a door, or waking up and kicking down a door. He will then demand to go somewhere or see something, and the cast will have to make sure that happens. When anyone tries to attempt to do anything, they're going to roll a d12, and they need to get 4 or less. D12, 4 or less, okay? If you get 4 or less, you succeed, unless you've used one of your abilities, in which case it's a higher number. So, for narcotics, if you need to deploy narcotics for some reason, and you roll your d12, you need 6 or less. That's it. Simple. Roll under, success system. If you fail, Jason will either get increasingly dead, sad, arrested, or bored. He will get D3, arrested, sad, dead, or bored, depending on the nature of the scene. If he gets within 3 of completing his tracks, there are little tracks for each of them, he enters danger mode, and you have 1 chance to save Jason's holiday. So far, so straightforward. There are a couple of complications. The first of which is that Wesley Snipes is attempting to ruin Jason's holiday. He is attempting to do so with a high-powered rifle, but... That's my D6. I shall need that in a minute, but I shall pick it up slickly without anyone noticing. When I work out where it's gone,
So slick.
I shall get a different D6 without anybody noticing. Because of the actor's code, Wesley Snipes won't actually shoot Jason. That would be wrong. But everyone else is fair game. That, I think, is... should you fail a roll, if an action goes badly and it was dangerous for the Statham Master may rule the character is injured or stressed, and that will give you points of adrenaline. That's a +1 to all of your rolls. So everything gets harder. Everyone starts on adrenaline of 0. And the last but most important rule is that every time you roll a d12, you also roll a d6. If that comes up with the same number, that is known as the Statham die, and Jason will do something unexpected. And when I'm running it, that is normally led by the words, Jason Statham! And then he does something unexpected. What that is, even I won't know until I say it. So we all know. We haven't had any suggestions in the chat for where he's on holiday, so where is Jason going to be on holiday? Cast suggest, while I get into character. Nope, I can't do that, I need to listen. Didn't think that through.
Going to get the character in a second.
Where we go.
Yes. To be clear, he has just finished a very important theatrical performance in London, where he played the role of Buttons in D&D the Pantomime.
Yes, he did.
So he's cut high off the back of that.
I'm thinking it is getting close to Christmas. What about Lapland?
That sounds good.
Lapland, it's it. Yep.
I was going to go for somewhere dangerous like Hull.
Yep.
No offence to anyone from Hull.
Really dangerous.
Okay, well, I reckon there are dangerous bits of...
I've heard Afghanistan's nice this time of year.
I think that's it, yeah.
I think there are dangerous bits of Lapland, and I think that's where he's going. So, we're going to go into character. Here we go.
Oh, professionalism.
Where's he gone?
Is this where we need to fill the air while Richard is off air? This way.
I do realise the longer I look at myself in the webcam, the more I realise I look like a therapist and not an agent.
You look very smart, Jordan. You look...
Because I think I look more like Santa.
Right, I'm Jason Statham. Here we go.
There we go. Beautiful.
So, the only way to travel to Lapland, if you're Jason Statham, is, I'm going to assume, skidoo. That's how he arrives. As a troop of skidoos arrive, Jason, who has fallen asleep at the skidoo controls, I don't know, wakes up and says, right, we're in Lapland. Let's have a good holiday, right?
Ah, Jason, you're gonna love it. Everything here's all white and snow. You're gonna love it every second.
You better make sure of that, because you're under contract to make sure this is good.
Ah, don't worry. I got some things planned. He's gonna have a fantastic time. Ain't you, partner?
Well, I'll better add, because we're paying your fortune. So, the first thing that I want to see as we've arrived in Lapland, home of Santa and reindeer rides, is a national park. That is what I want to see. I want to see it now.
National park, you say? Well, come over here. We'll take you to the most national of national parks.
Right, that sounds like either a follow me roll or a local knowledge roll. Which are you going to do, Jackie?
I'll probably go local knowledge, considering it's slightly higher.
Yep, go for it.
So that's an 8, which is slightly higher. For fail.
You fail, all right. There's a fair amount of tramping in the snow. Jason, Jason is topless.
Obviously.
I personally can't perform topless because of Twitch's rules on nipples. So my muscle shirt is over there. But
I did get to see it at the Dragonmeet. It was very impressive.
if you didn't get to see Dragonmeet D&D live, come back. Come next year. They'll probably let Jordan do it again.
We'll see.
We'll see. We can't really believe it, but it keeps happening. So as the five of you, including Jason, start tramping in what felt like the right direction to Jackie, he is topless and he's starting to get quite cold. In fact, so cold that he is going to take a point of dead. That is how cold it is. Oh, I'm beginning to get quite cold.
Don't worry, Jason. I've got you sorted. And I dive into my coat pocket and pull out a bag of what I'm going to refer to as Bolivian marching powder.
Okay, yes.
Yep.
Excellent. I believe all the cool kids call it that. Brilliant. Let's have a narcotics roll to see whether you retrieve the correct pharmaceutical supplements.
It's either that or a horse tranquilizer. We'll find out in a second.
I'm pretty sure it's just snow.
So that is a 1. I'm going to roll my d6 as well, so that was a very good result.
Yep.
But I also rolled a 1 on d6, so I may have given him slightly too big of a bump.
Okay, well, Jason takes the supplement that you've given him.
I just hold the bag out to his face like a horse feed bag. Like, get your face in there, Jason! Come on, Jason!
And do you know what? Jason isn't cold anymore. He isn't cold. He has started to make snow angels now, and he's become obsessed with this. He shouts for everyone else to make snow angels as well.
Of course, Jason, make a snow angel.
Yeah,
I may or may not have had some myself.
As you're all making snow angels. A collection of gentlemen in they're wearing black trousers, black puffer jackets. They're all wearing black gloves, but the sort that show the knuckles, so you know they're hard. Black sunglasses and black baseball caps. They sort of shumble over and say, "Hello there. We are members of the Grand Order of Occidental Nighthawks, and you aren't allowed to be here."
I think you'll find under subsection 4 of the Highway Code, we've got perfect rights to be here as long as we're making snow angels.
This sounds like a law roll.
It does indeed.
Let's see if there is in fact an obscure clause that allows people to be present in wherever this is.
Well, I rolled a lovely 9, so not particularly. Oh, actually, that's exactly my level. I'm under 3 on the Statham roll.
Okay.
That'd be quite handy, wouldn't it? But yeah.
Yeah, if you'd rolled a 9 on the Statham die, I would have been surprised and impressed.
At this point, me and Jason just up on the marching powder are doing the snow angels, but we're going so fast the two of us are just like going in circles.
Yeah, it's starting to be a biblically accurate snow angel. That's what's going on. As the goons all get out their copies of the law and start to shuffle through it, and they're sort of, well, yeah, you know he's right. Oh, yeah, I know he's right, but we're supposed to beat him up. We've been hired to beat up Jason Statham. And they close the book.
Well, then you're in breach of your agreement, so you have to go back in shame.
Oh, I don't know about that. They go back to their law books again. Let's have another law roll, see if you can in fact persuade them that the law requires them.
Well, I was trying to do spin doctor in that process.
I was going to say, would that not be spin doctor?
Yeah.
If you want to spin doctor it, then spin doctor away.
I'm going to roll again, and on this occasion I rolled a 5 on my d12 and a 3 on the Statham dice.
Yeah, there's a pause, and the Grand Order of Occidental Nighthawks once again return to their law textbooks and go, "No, it's a shame. Here it is. What?
There's nothing I do about it, you know. It's just the way it is, mates."
Yeah, no, it's more than my job's worth as well. I tell you what, he turns to the others. "No, we work on our Lapland accent because this is not authentic at all." And the others agree, and off they go. And the hired goons are defeated. But as Jason starts to come down, as the snow angels become more perfect, Jason is starting. "But I did really feel the need to see a national park, and so far I've made quite the best snow angels I believe anyone has ever made ever. No, seriously, you and I, we've made the best snow angels that anyone has ever made. But I need to see a national park. I need to see a national park, and I need to see it now. Yeah.
Oh, you know what you find in national parks? He just points over and goes, reindeer.
Okay.
Ever ridden a reindeer, Jason?
He turns to his theatrical agent and goes, I don't think, not unless crank-free...
No, Jason, always.
That.
No children or animals. We always agree, no children or animals.
You're right, I never ride any children or animals.
I think all of our accents are just merging into one at this point.
Yeah. We're all becoming the same Jason Statham accent. I believe the 100% dead-on impression accent that I managed. Okay, so is that a local knowledge or a extreme sports role? I'm not entirely sure.
As much as it would be more beneficial for local knowledge, I think it's extreme sports.
Okay, you're going to attempt to persuade Jason to ride a reindeer.
That's a 6, which is a kind of fail for the other one. But I got a 6 on the Satan dice.
Oh. Okay, Jason just punches the reindeer in the face.
Shows dominance.
Reindeer had it coming to him.
The reindeer drops, and Jason stands going, yeah, you take that. What do you say about Crack 2? Crack 2 is a masterpiece. And he turns and goes, do you know what? I'm going to get sad now. I'm going to get 1 point of sad because I keep rolling badly. But I need to see a national park, and I'm going to cry if I don't see it soon. I think somebody else might have to step in and try and find a way of locating the national park.
Well, with my eye for detail, I'm going to look around and see if there's any kind of signs that look like they're the Finnish for some sort of native population, the Sumo people or whatever. Yeah. So.
Perfect.
I rolled a 10 on a 6, so I did not succeed at this. It seems that he's not going to get his national trust things, national park things anyway.
You look around.
Yes.
There are remarkably few signs around in the white, bare expanse of this bit of rural Lapland. Jason is going to get increasingly sad now. That is 3 points of sad.
I might be pushing this a little bit, but can I try for a Statham lore to remember a time where he had to study for a role that involved some sort of tracking to convince him that he's actually the best one suited here to find the national park?
I think rules as written, that is exactly the purpose of Statham lore.
Let's go. Okay, so that's a 7, which is...
Phew!
Under an 8 and only a 3 on the D6.
A success.
Jason, you got this. Remember that role where you were out in the forest, you're out in the wilderness, that specific role where you were doing that. Remember your training. Remember you can find the forest, Jason. Just remember.
You're right. In Lapland, Jason Statham, had to play a man from Lapland who had to find national parks. It was your Jackie. I think it was your biopic I was in.
Oh yeah. You would have been. You'd have looked so good in those tight shorts. You felt wonderful.
I would have done. I mean, you're not pulling them off, but you're not pulling them off. You keep them on, right? But unfortunately, the money fell through. But I did do the training, and he stops and he spins around. And he goes that way and heads confidently in a direction.
Follow it is.
Follow.
Yep.
Now, the only fair way, I guess, of determining whether or not Jason headed in the direction of a national park would be to make a luck roll. So we're going to ask for highs or lows from somebody. First person to say it, highs or lows.
Highs.
Adam said highs. Do you know what? It's 55. It's right in the middle. So
That's just high. I think
that is just high. You're absolutely right. It is just high. After some wandering, Jason arrives and goes, well, I'm not entirely sure whether this is a national park in the strictest sense, but I feel like it's the embodiment of everything I need from a national park. Look at that. And he points to a view that looks pretty much exactly the same as the view in every other direction. He says, look at that view.
Gorgeous, Jason. Gorgeous. I love it. You're always right.
Whether it's a national park or not, it's now a Statham Park.
Absolutely. I think we should do that. Statham Parks, yes. I think that's the future. And he drifts off in a kind of beautiful reverie for a moment.
I start trying to email people to see if we can purchase this park.
Okay, yep. We'll see whether or not you can purchase large tracts of Lapland. I think we're going to call that a success. Scene 1, tick. Scene 2 is... Now, this may be trickier to organise, but I do feel the need to go to some sort of fancy gala opening right now.
Well, what about we just open Statham Parks to everybody? Have your own gala, put your name up there.
Well, I mean, we will need to chopper in a guest list quite rapidly. No B-listers. Not hanging out with anyone who was who won a singing competition. I need Oscar winners only.
No problem. If we hear any on the helicopter, we'll kick them out.
So I think it's this perfect opportunity again for the agent, as a field actor, to reach out to all of his contacts in the celebrity world to see if we can get a hold of some guests. This is only a 6.
Okay, while you're rolling that, I'd like also a law roll to find out whether or not Jason can in fact claim this park as a state park.
A law roll.
A law roll, yes please.
That is unfortunately an 8 on the D12 roll, which is a failure for my field actor, which is appropriate.
Okay, but legally?
Legally, we rolled an 8. So that is a success with my law of 9.
Okay, brilliant. So all you have to do now is organise a gala opening for state parks in rural Lapland with what Jason will feel like is an A-list guest list without any A-listers.
Look, Jason, I'm sorry.
Right. How about we start building snowmen and pretending they're there? And you just, give them something to make him realise that those snowmen are actually guests, right?
Wait a minute. We're in Lapland. Why don't we get the biggest celebrity we know? Let's get Santa in here.
It was only a matter of time. Okay, who is going to help with the snowman audience plan? And who is going to help?
Oh, I think I better look after the Santa Claus. Because someone's got to make that pun before the afternoon's done.
Okay, I mean, I feel both ashamed, angry, and deeply impressed at that. In this moment, while we all just sit and wallow in that. Hello, Jeff, with either a G or a J. Good to have you in the chat.
Hey, Jeff.
Just a quick recap. Jason is determined to attend the gala opening of his new rural Lapland park. And, the plan is to get a Hollywood A-lister guest, Santa, and a bunch of snowmen to attend the gala in order for there to be a gala at all. So, who is going to... what's the snowman plan? Let's start with the snowman, and then we'll move on to the presumably slightly bigger challenge.
Right, so we're gonna build snowmen of various sizes, right? We're gonna get little trinkets and bits that people recognize, what's A-listers most known for? We'll put that on it, braces, a tie, maybe a sort of slightly jaunty hat. We'll put all them on. They'll be quite far away. He won't actually know they're not real.
Okay, I would love to know which of your skills you think goes into that. Otherwise, it's just straight up, you need a 4 or less.
I think I'll just take the 4 or less. Actually, maybe local knowledge for sourcing the bits, I guess.
Yeah,
for sourcing the snow.
Local knowledge.
Hey!
That's a 2.
Yeah, there you go.
And on the Statham dice is a 3.
Okay, we've managed to dodge that bullet. So you start, and who is Adam? Are you helping recruit Santa, or
I've got something planned. No, I've got something else. I'll let you.
Okay.
I'll let you finish.
I'm nervous, but okay. That's good. So the Santa Claus Lance means that Lance is going to sue Santa if he doesn't show up. I'm not entirely sure how this is working.
Well, I've got to get him into a contract, an agreement, don't I? We've got to find something that's going to... And I'm kind of thinking there might be a charity angle here, because we could do elf help or something like that. Sorry, I can't help the bad puns, but
okay, no, you found the level, and it's a beautiful thing. Okay, so this feels like a law roll as you attempt to
it's a level.
Sign a contract with Santa's agent in order to get him to attend.
Well, I'm going to need help from our tour guide to find him in the first place, in order to then do the agreement.
All right, so we've decided to make it more complicated for some reason. Let's have a local knowledge roll then from Jackie.
That's D10.
Okay.
We struggle to find Santa. Fair enough.
You struggle to find where Santa is. in Lapland, which is unfortunate. So I tell you what we'll do is we'll make that as well. It's just +1 on your roll as you attempt to pin Santa down in a contract. Just +1 to your roll.
Pin Santa down. Right, and I have I've rolled a 12. Oops.
Okay, so far
But the
you've
snowmen are
not
coming
found
on.
Santa and you have not managed to get him in a contract. But I'm assuming, as demanded by the chat, at least some of these snowmen have abs, and reminiscent of the star of Hot Frosty, a Netflix movie I don't need to see to know I don't want to see it.
Nice.
But did dub it the Abdominal Snowman and felt very good about myself when I did it.
So,
I think we'll all sit in that for a minute. Adam, what's the thing you've got planned?
as I'm stood around watching everyone, I approach Jason. I say, Jason,
Yeah?
when you attend a gala, the big galas,
Yeah.
what's the one thing that you need to see in that room?
A limo.
That's right, ice sculptures. That is right. You're so wise. I love you. I'm going to go and try and find a massive glacier, a big chunk of ice, and make the biggest Statham statue I can using my fists. I'm going to punch.
Okay.
I'm going to punch Jason out of that big glacier over there. You know that one that I can
Alright.
see just over there. That one. That one.
Yeah, the one over
That
there.
one.
Yeah.
that one.
We all
one.
can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a these hands are weapons roll. I
Yes.
presume that's what you're planning to use.
Yeah, for a nice Jason Statham ice sculpture centerpiece.
Yep.
That is a 5, which is a success. There's only a 4
Yep.
on the Statham die, so we dodged that bullet.
We're all right. Okay. Yeah. You you take while everyone else is making a mess of things. You punch an exquisite chiseled jaw out of ice. Not long after that, one of the most kind of noble foreheads in history emerges, and soon Jason Statham is realised in. Is it just a bust or is it a full statue of Jason?
No, it's head to toe, and it's also, you know, when you're going into like a king's sort of throne room, and you've got these statues that very clearly he never looked like that. He never looked that good.
Yeah.
But he looks fantastic. Like, he looks brilliant. You can tell it's Jason, but it's Jason airbrushed to high heaven.
Okay.
And
It's
he looks
even more handsome Jason Statham.
What a piece. That's what it's called. That's what it's called.
Okay.
The piece is called What a
What
Piece. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say that is going to give, when we come to Jason deciding whether or not is a successful gala, I think we're going to be -1 because that's so good.
That's pretty good. Thank you.
Spunky Brewster, how are you helping the situation?
I've been struggling to figure out a way.
Welcome to me during the first encounter. I had no input.
I mean,
I couldn't help that one.
what have we managed so far for this gala?
The most handsome ice sculpture of Jason Statham that's ever existed, and some snowmen quite far off, one of which has a six-pack. So far, that's our gala opening of the state park.
I think what we need for a gala is going to be some food. So I'm going to get some food sorted, and I'm going to sprinkle it with some cocaine to get people hooked.
Okay. All right. I believe that is what they do at A-list galas. So,
I thought
you're
it
going to
should
make
be.
this a narcotics roll.
Well, that's an 11. So it doesn't matter
Okay.
what I rolled on the Jason dice.
I think we can all agree that what's happened is you personally may have got just a little bit high on your own supply.
Oh, everyone
as
else is
you
like
are-
making snowmen, making ice sculptures, and they look
Yeah.
over, and I'm just like sat, sort of arms and legs splayed at the base of a tree with just a line of white under my nose, eyes wide.
I just imagine you with like a plate of mash in front of you, just slowly scraping it together.
It's gotta be perfect. It's gotta be perfect.
I think, as a result, Spunky, you're going to take a point of adrenaline. Life is
I
going to
think that's
I
fair.
think life's going to get a lot harder.
Having seen Spunky struggle to obtain food,
Struggle.
I think we can all enjoy that sentence for a sec.
I would like to use my bow and arrow that I've got.
Yep, the weapons that are also weapons.
To take down that... To with one arrow, take down... You know that whole herd of deer over there?
Yeah.
The one over there?
The ones that are all conveniently in a line.
Yeah, in one line, like Deadpool.
Yep.
To make some nice venison steak. But I need to obtain the venison first.
All right, yes. So roll to obtain the venison. With these weapons are also weapons roll.
That's a double one, baby.
Okay, so what happens is you pause, the whole world goes still, you hold your breath, and the deer all line up, and there's just a perfect moment. And you unleash the arrow, and Jason takes off after the arrow.
Like a dog.
like a dog. The arrow skewers through the entire herd. It's a very powerful arrow. You've got a very strong compound bow.
Yeah.
Jason dives after it, face first into the first deer, and just starts to eat the raw deer.
Yeah.
As a result, I think he's going to take D6 points of dead, because who knows what's in that. Yep, there we go. That is 2 more points of dead. Remembering Jason is quite sad. He's now a little bit dead. But there's venison.
Venison tartare.
Which makes everything better. I think we can all agree.
And I'll just go about making some nice venison based cuisine.
Okay. So Spunky Brewster is having his alone time. Presumably he's cornered one of the snowmen as telling them all about this screenplay. Jackie is making snowmen. Lance is still on the phone trying to get Santa to pick up and getting nowhere. And Gabriel is preparing delicious venison canapes. This is sort of coming together. The guests that you have managed to round up do start to arrive. Unfortunately, some of them did win singing competitions. Jason has had to punch them. So there's a sort of pile of X Factor winners. And whoever won Pop Idol, before they totally changed the format so that they didn't have to play Pete Waterman. I don't know why I'm upset about that, but I kind of am. It just feels like a real jerk move.
Spunky knows the drill here, though. As soon as somebody's knocked out, throws them on a pile and just starts covering them in snow. We'll deal with them later.
Absolutely, yeah. They're tomorrow's problem. Ideally, not Jason's. Great stuff. However, he is welcoming them. And then Jason's wife steps off the Stathcopter, and there is a crack of a high-powered rifle. And Jason Statham's wife's shoulder just explodes in a fountain of red. She collapses. Jason goes, "No!" and dives over her. But Rosie Huntington-Whiteley is starting to bleed to death.
Again, knowing nothing about drugs, Spunky is going to rush forward and go, "Don't worry, Jason," and is going to start trying to pack the wound with cocaine.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising how much cocaine Spunky Brewster has brought. And
like every Hollywood agent, he's packing.
Yeah, he is. He's very efficient. He's a one-drug man, which is I don't respect that, but Jason clearly does.
Look, I could have tried to remember the name of any sort of coagulant, but let's be honest, even if I could, I don't think Spunky can right now.
No, Spunky has this screenplay to talk about, but let's see what happens.
It's cocaine or nothing. Probably quite predictably, that was an 11.
Okay, yeah. It turns out that packing a massive entry wound, smaller than the enormous exit wound in the shoulder of a woman in a glamorous evening gown with cocaine, doesn't help. As she starts to fade from consciousness, Jason is going to get a bit sad.
I'd also like to point out,
sad,
she might be losing a lot of blood. She's also now got a lot of cocaine in her system. I don't think she's falling asleep anytime soon.
She's not well, but someone else is going to have to help, because Spunky, quite frankly, has done enough.
Can I use my local knowledge to find anything?
I'm a lawyer, not a doctor, but I am a spin doctor.
But you are
Can I find a way to use the, Can I find a way to spin this?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Before we cheer Jason up about the fact that he's now free, single, and ready to mingle at this gala, let's see if we can save Rosie's life. Let's do it.
Yes,
Jackie, do you want to see if you can use your local knowledge to get an ambulance?
Either see if a local knowledge to get an ambulance or to find something that can stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
That's a 6 and a 3 on the other dice. So yeah, 6.
Yeah, you managed to find the only paramedic crew in the wilderness of Lapland.
Yep.
If you're from Lapland, by the way, viewer and/or listener, I can only apologise. I'm sure you have a lovely country, but it's in my head it's just really snowy and igloos.
It's really snowy and everyone turns up on sleighs. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone turns up on sleighs or skidoos. I can't even remember if skidoos are a water thing or a snow thing, but that's what
Pretty sure
Jason's
they're a
crew
water
turned
thing.
up on. Yeah, I think. Well, isn't snow just another form of water?
Skidoos are snowmobile.
I was going to argue, but let's
Yes.
not.
Yeah, you can't argue with that.
Yeah, they are.
Okay,
Are they?
yeah, there you go.
No.
I think we can all agree we've learned nothing.
Oh, the Skidoo was another name for a jet ski?
All I can think is Kung Fu Panda. So yeah.
Okay, so maybe Skidoo is a brand and they do both. Skidoo, if you are a brand and you're out there and you want to sponsor the D20 Future Show, there'll be a lot more Skidoos in it. Don't worry, even if we're playing D&D. So, you found the only paramedic crew in the wilderness outside the capital of Lapland.
I'm sure all my friends in Helsinki will be very ashamed of me.
I've done no research. I don't think it shows, though. I think we're getting away with it. And they start to patch up Rosie, and it's going to be okay. Rosie's going to recover. They start to apply quite a lot of whatever the opposite of cocaine is.
Horse tranquilizers.
Yeah, horse tranquilizer. Yeah, ketamine. They apply ketamine to offset the cocaine's effect on the human body. Listener and/or viewer, please do not use the D20 Future Show for first aid advice.
But do use it for your recreational drug advice.
The D20 Future Show cannot officially endorse the use of any recreational drugs. Jordan can do whatever he likes. I can't control him. That's abundantly clear.
They're far too expensive in this economy.
Yeah.
That's true. Just listen to the radio. It's free.
Just focus on your legal narcotics like the alcohol. That's all fine. We are all on board with that one.
Slancha.
In this economy. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So, Rosie Huntington-Whiteley she is patched up. She is recovering. She is not that stable on her feet.
Well, with my eye for detail, can I get any idea of where that shot would have come from?
Yeah. Let's find out.
Well, I rolled a 1 and a 3, so 1 on the success dice.
Yeah. Quite some way in the distance, you can see just the horizon slightly breaks. There's a glint off something. You now know where Wesley Snipes is hiding with his high-powered rifle.
Gabriel, fetch! I point at the location.
Will they stop Wesley Snipes? Will Rosie Huntington-Whiteley survive? And will Jason have a big vacation? Find out next month, on the next episode of the D20 Future Show podcast. For some reason, music is playing in my ear. Let's stop that from happening. If that hit the stream viewer, I can only apologise. It did. Okay. I can only apologise. Just a little bit of jaunty music for no particular good reason.
Yes, there's a nice audio spike for you there, right at the end when I drop my phone on the table. Richard, just for you. Bye-bye. Nope, bye.